Hello and welcome to the YouTube channel D Creations Resources. All of you are aware that we have a playlist called Tell Me What. This is a completely curiosity driven playlist, and under that today we are going to do an episode which is an occasion special episode, because today is a historical day for India, and thanks to ISRO, Indian Space Research Organization. India literally docked its name in the history when two of its satellites were docked successfully under its SpaDeX mission. The full form for SpaDeX is Space Docking Experiment. This particular mission was launched on December 30th in 2024, and today in the early morning hours of 16th January became only the fourth country to achieve successful docking of satellites. Now, if you really want to understand how difficult it is and how accurate it has to be, just imagine that there are two cars speeding down a highway. And then, if you want to connect them, you can understand how difficult it is. And here you are trying to connect two satellites, so the stakes are much higher and much more precision is required. Because the satellites are traveling at thousands of kilometers per hour, and they need to be brought into close proximity, and then they have to be joined together securely. So, a very difficult task indeed. As informed by ISRO, the primary objective of the SpaDeX mission is the development and demonstration of the technology needed for the rendezvous docking and undocking of two small spacecrafts. And here the names are SDX-01. This is the chaser spacecraft, while the other one, SDX-02, is the target spacecraft. And it's basically a cost-effective technology demonstrator mission. And this space docking is very crucial because it is an important step in India's space ambitions, like taking Indians to moon and then sample return from the moon, or building as well as operation of the Bharatiya Antariksha Station. SpaDeX mission consisted of launching of two small spacecrafts which were mentioned earlier. Their weight was around 220 kilogram, and they were launched by PSLV C-60, and they were launched independently and simultaneously into a 470 kilometer circular orbit at an inclination of 55 degree. So the satellites were launched on December 30th, 2024, and there were a series of maneuvers, and today the chaser was successfully able to dock with the target. Obviously, target was the passive satellite, and it was equipped with the docking mechanism for the chaser to connect to, while chaser was the active satellite and it was responsible for maneuvering and docking with the target. Now the chaser gradually approached the target, and it closed the distance between them in stages. And after that there was time. So this is basically the approach. Then next step is alignment. So you need to have very sophisticated sensors, and using them the chaser precisely aligned itself with the docking port of the target. The stage after that was capture. So here the docking mechanisms on both the satellites, obviously they were designed to be compatible. So these made contact and initiated the connection. And the last stage was secure. That is, once captured, the mechanism retracted, pulling the satellites together and forming a secure link. Please understand that this success did not come without challenges. Okay, so initially the docking was planned for January 7th and then again on January 9th, but then those times there were some technical issues. But instead of getting disheartened, ISRO continued its quest, and today on 16th of January it has been able to achieve the docking. So India becomes the fourth country to have achieved it, and the speciality being this mechanism of docking, which was done today, is much more simpler as compared to the complex mechanism used by the earlier countries, namely United States of America, China, and Russia. So ISRO had tweeted that maneuver from 15-meter to 3-meter hold point completed, docking initiated with precision, leading to successful spacecraft capture, retraction completed smoothly, followed by rigidization for stability, and docking successfully completed. There were several indigenous technologies that were developed to enable this docking mission, namely the docking mechanism, a suite for 4 rendezvous and docking sensors, power transfer technology, indigenous novel autonomous rendezvous and docking strategy, inter-satellite communication link, that is ISL, for autonomous communication between spacecraft, incorporated with inbuilt intelligence to know the states of the other spacecraft, GNSS based novel relative orbit determination and propagation RODP processor to determine the relative position and velocity of the other spacecraft, and simulation test beds for both hardware and software design validation and testing. So when there are missions that require heavy spacecraft which cannot be lifted off with a single launch vehicle, then you will need to join it or connect it, or technical word to be used, dock it in space itself. So you need to have this technology. Post docking, the control of 2 satellites as a single object is successful. That is what was informed by ISRO, and that undocking and power transfer checks will follow in the coming days. This achievement is a good news even for the Chandrayaan 4 mission, which is supposed to entail carrying lunar samples back to Earth. Initially, the separation between the 2 satellites was 20 km, and as the chaser satellite approached the target satellite, the distance reduced to 5 km, 1.5 km, 500 meter, 225 meter, 15 meter, and finally 3 meter, after which the 2 satellites were docked. So congratulations India, congratulations ISRO for this wonderful achievement, which is going to be an important step to fulfill India's dreams of lunar missions and also building a space station in the space. Thank you. You can like, share, or subscribe the YouTube channel D Creations Resources for more such updates. Thank you.